Hey y'all, and welcome to the video, and thank you guys so much for watching. You guys might be wondering why you're looking at my makeup storage, and that's because today I'm going to be finally starting my declutter series. Now, everything that I am going to be decluttering will be on Poshmark, so you guys can shop my Poshmark in the coming up future for the items that I am going to be decluttering. I can tell you that all of these items are basically from this year, which is very, very sad. That's the majority of everything has been purchased this year, and if not last year. And I have a few items that are from a previous year of 2017, but I'm pretty sure a lot of those I'll probably just keep or give to family. But everything in here is basically new. Which I know expiration dates are like a year and 2 years, but you know, whatever. Anyways, we're still gonna declutter, and so we have like my face drawer and the eyeliners and all that. We're not gonna be doing that today. And then we have all my other face stuff like highlights, bronzers, blushes in here. Then we have my lipstick drawer, which this is the most obnoxious drawer of them all. If I have another drawer open while I have this one, like up top, it'll just like lean down and fall over, and that's when I decided I need to declutter. Plus, I have like single eyeshadows and other random stuff in there, and then palettes, and then I have a palette back there. I have palettes all up there. Then a few palettes over here where I film. Hello. So today we're going to actually be decluttering all of my palettes. So that's what we're going to start out with. We're going to go out where it really hurts, which are eyeshadow palettes. So if you guys are interested in this declutter video, keep on watching. All of the palettes that I'm going to be getting rid of, which is basically all of them, were purchased this year, and I know that's very sad that all of thmost palettes were purchased this year, except for like 3 or 4 were purchased last year in like the October range. So all these palettes are new. Most of them I haven't even touched, but I don't need them, so it's time to get rid of them. So keep on watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's go ahead and get into the video. Or maybe it's that direction. Okay, so I tried to make it look kind of cute, so I put like a blanket down. But these are all my palettes, and first I'm just gonna organize them into a category before I start showing the palettes. So we'll start with, I guess, ColourPop, because I have the most palettes. So I'm just gonna start putting the ColourPop palettes all in a collection. Okay, so I have basically placed them all in a category. So I'm going to start out by doing all of my ColourPop palettes, because as you can see, I have a lot of them and I do not wear all of these palettes. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter a few of these. I know I'm going to get rid of a few of these because honestly, I wanted to collect them all, but they just keep coming out with so many, I can't keep up, and there's some that I'm just not interested in. So I'm just going to declutter the ones that I know I'm not going to ever use or I don't like. So let's go ahead and start by doing some decluttering for ColourPop. So the first palette I want to show is the Mar palette, and I've only used this once, and I actually really did enjoy it. Ooh, I have a pan coming out. And look, it's hitting hard pan right here, which I don't know if you can tell, but it hit hard pan here, which is kind of like sad, but I really liked the colors on my eyes. So for that reason, I will be keeping the Mar palette. This one was one of those palettes that, I really liked the color story, but as a palette all in its own, it kind of creates a one note look. Like you can apply all these colors and it turns out to be one shade, but I still like to take a few of these shades and add them to other palettes, so for that reason I will be keeping it. The Strawberry Shake palette, I really do like this palette. I did a giveaway, my very first giveaway, I was giving this palette away, and the color story is actually so pretty, so I will be keeping this. I love this shade right here in particular. It's so pretty. And we got the Just My Luck palette. It is gorgeous. This is the reason why I knew I liked green shadow, so I'm definitely going to be keeping this. Again, I've used this palette one time. Actually, to be fair, I've used this palette once, I've used this palette once, I've used this palette 3 times, and I've used this palette once. So should I really declutter them? Yeah, but am I going to? Absolutely not. And then we have the Orange You Glad palette. I actually really like this one. I've, again, worn it 2 times, but, you know, I have future use for this, so I'm going to keep it. The Ooh La La palette, honestly, I haven't used it once. I don't even think I've swatched it yet, but I know I will use this. It's just, I don't know what my problem is. I just haven't used it yet, but I do think it's really pretty. And we have the Soul palette, the sister to the Mar palette, and I've swatched it. I just haven't actually played with it yet. I don't know why, but it is a pretty palette, and I do plan on using it eventually. Y'all are gonna kill me with all the palettes I haven't used. The Blue Moon palette, this one's really pretty too. I was planning on using this palette a ton during December because blue and December just go really well together. Love this shade Tide Pool so much, and I've only worn this palette twice, but this is a good winter palette, and I cannot wait to start using this next month. And then I have the Honey palette, which is my all-time favorite palette. I have worn this a number of times, and I really do love this palette. Yellow is my main squeeze. Get it? Squeeze, orange. Anyways, I love this palette, and I will be keeping it. And now we have the main squeeze palette. Now, I am going to declutter this one. I have used it twice. I realized I don't like these tones on my eyes. The last time I actually wore this palette was on 4th of July, and I looked like a hot mess. So I'm gonna declutter this one. I don't need it. I don't look good in these colors, so I will be decluttering this. This one is the It's My Pleasure palette. Again, I've used this twice. These tones, they're just way too dark for me, and I don't look good in a dark eyeshadow. This one kind of hit hard pan too the first time I ever used it. I don't really know why. But this shade here, Kitten Fish, is so pretty. That's the only shade that looks good on me in this palette. I haven't even touched that one. I haven't touched that one. I haven't touched that one. And I don't think I've touched that one. I've just used this one, this one, this one, and this one. But I just don't like this shade of purple, so I will be decluttering this. Then I have the Love Purred palette here. I just got it. I just did a video on it. I really like it, so I will be keeping this. Then I have the Bird of Paradise palette. I just got it. I haven't played with it. I will be doing a future video on this palette. Same with the Night Owl palette. I just got it, and I will be doing a look with it, so stay tuned for those. And then we have the Brown Sugar palette. Oh, yeah, okay. I've only used this palette one time as like a palette to use with another palette, just to have some brown options, and for that reason I will keep it. So when you have any of these ColourPop palettes that need a darker tone, I will grab this. I've used this shade, and this shade so far, so I will be keeping it for that reason. Then we have the Sweet Talk palette. This one is like one of my favorite palettes. It's so pretty. I've used it a few times. I've mostly used this shade like a ton. I used this shade once on Easter and realized glitter was scary. I've used this shade and this shade and that shade and that shade, but I haven't used any of the other ones. I know, so sad, but yeah, I will be using this a lot more in the future, but it's a really cute palette. And then we have the Chasing Rainbows palette, and I've always kept it in this like packaging here, just because it makes the palette look a lot prettier than this. And honestly, these tones are, I don't know, they're just not for me. This shade is really pretty, and so is Woke, but I have this shade I think in another palette. But I I don't know, there's a few shades in here that I really like this one, but I don't even think I've swatched it. Yeah, I've swatched all this palette because I did a haul with it, but other than swatching every single shade, I've only used this palette one time. No, twice. I've used it twice, but I don't like the way any of these colors look on me. So I'm going to declutter the Chasing Rainbows palette. I know that's sad, but I gotta give it up. Then we have the California Love palette. I love this palette. I've used it numerous times. It's such a gorgeous neutral palette. I love this shade the most out of all of them. So for that reason, I'm going to keep it because I do really like this palette. Then the last ColourPop palette is the Truly Madly Deeply palette. It's an Ulta exclusive, but they did just put it on their actual ColourPop website. This is such a pretty palette, you guys. I love it. And if you guys want to see any more looks with this, I can definitely do it, but this palette is so pretty. So I will be keeping it. So the next category is going to be pretty easy because it's my Jeffree Star palettes. I have the Thirsty palette. My boyfriend got this for me for Christmas, so I really like it. I've used a few of these glitters here and I think they're cute. I love this yellow, this blue, this one, and these shades here. They're like my favorites, but I've used this palette quite a lot and I really do like it, so I won't be getting rid of it. Sorry, guys. And of course we have the Conspiracy palette. I'm still waiting on her younger sister, the mini. It hasn't shipped yet, but this palette is gorgeous, you guys. Unfortunately, I spilled coffee all over it this morning, but it didn't get on the inside, but oh, it's making it hard to open. Okay. But it didn't get on any of the shadows, so I'm excited. I'm going to be filming my first video with it today, so stay tuned for that. And then I have the Mini Breaker palette here. I love this palette. Such a good palette. I'm doing a giveaway right now. It's about to end. So yeah, I'm giving away 2 of these. So if you haven't entered already, go enter. And then I have the Jawbreaker palette. And I like this palette. It wasn't what I expected it to be, but I have used it several times. I haven't used it recently. I just feel like it's much too summer, so I've kind of held off on it for the past couple months, but I'm one of those people that like to wear eyeshadow based on the season, so I will be using this a lot come next year. Then we have Morphe x Jeffree Star. This one's very underrated. People were complaining that it was a Morphe quality, but honestly, I think these shadows are so nice. Unfortunately, my favorite shade here, Dog Mom, started hitting hard pan. I don't understand why shades hit hard pan so quickly, but it is, so it makes the color payoff not as easy to get, but I mean, it's still workable. But I love this palette. It's so good, so I will be keeping it. So that's all for my Jeffree Star palettes, and I'm just going to show off the one Jaclyn Hill palette I have. I've used the heck out of it. This palette I purchased in 2017 when it launched, and I will be keeping it. It's actually a really good palette, so I do like it, and I do use it from time to time, so I'll be keeping it. You can tell how dirty it is. And if I purchase anything in the year that's not this year, I will let you guys know. And so far, this is the first palette I purchased in a previous year other than the Thirsty palette, but that was for Christmas, so it barely was even in the year of 2018. So we have the Tetris palette from what was this, Ipsy collab, and I swatched this. I think I swatched them all. That's all I did. I swatched them and I never ever used it, so I'm gonna declutter this, give it a home to someone who would like to use it. But the shades in here are really pretty, but I would never wear these two. That one I wouldn't use. These would be the only shades, and that's not a really good reason to actually keep it, so I'm gonna declutter it. Same with this palette from Ipsy. Well, it's from Laura Sanchez. She's a YouTuber. We got it in an Ipsy box, and I swatched this shade, and I swatched this shade, and I accidentally ran my nail through it. But I mean, it's not a problem. I think I swatched like the yellow. But other than that, this hasn't even been used at all. So I will be decluttering this one. And there's a little brush in there, but it's kind of cheap and crappy, but you know, comes with a brush. This palette here, the Wander Beauty Wander Seascape, a lot of people liked this palette and the new one that came out in this month's Ipsy box. I didn't personally like it, so for that reason I'm going to declutter it and give it to someone who would actually appreciate this palette. So we have a Tarte palette here. This came in BoxyCharm. I think I swatched a few of the shades, but honestly, I am never going to use it. I don't know why. I just don't want to use it. So for that reason, I'm just going to declutter it. Why do I not want to use this? I don't know, but I just don't. So I'm going to declutter it. I was just looking through all of my palettes and I'm actually missing a Tarte palette. I don't know where it is. It's the Tarte, it's like the Big Dream palette, I think it's called. I'm gonna declutter that once I find it. I don't know where it is. Like, it's somewhere in this room, but I cannot for the life of me find it. But unless it's like over here in this pile somewhere, but I don't remember seeing it, but I will be decluttering that Tarte palette. Anyways, let's move on. So I have the Dose of Colors Sassy Siennas palette. I'm not sure which one this is, if it's the broken one or not. Oh yeah, this is the one that has a broken shade. I will be getting rid of this, but I'll be giving it to a family member because like I'm not gonna sell it, like it's broken. But anyways, and then I have the Sassy Siennas that's not broken, so I will be keeping this one to play with. I haven't played with it yet, but it's very, very pretty. I will be keeping this. And then I have the Baked Browns palette. I did use this and I had a compliment on my eyeshadow and it was this one. So I really liked it. It was really good. It was powdery, but it worked really well and it blended well. So it was really good. So we have the Too Faced Hot Buttered Rum palette. I haven't played with it yet. I will be doing a video in the future. So I will be keeping that. And then I have the Too Faced Gingerbread Extra Spicy palette. This palette I actually really enjoy. I love this palette. It's so good. I did like 4 looks using this in a video, so go check it out if you want to see what this palette's all about, but it's actually really good. So I'm obviously keeping it. So we have the Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette. This was my first Too Faced purchase, and this one is actually my second Too Faced purchase. Honestly, I liked this palette in the beginning because it was my first like purchase palette pretty much of the year that wasn't like ColourPop, and I swatched a few of the shades. A few of them I haven't even used, like this one. I don't think I've used that one, but honestly I don't need it. Like, I'm not going to use it. I found other neutral palettes that I like more, so I will be getting rid of this palette. There's nothing wrong with the quality in my opinion, but I mean, what do I know? I don't really know much about eyeshadow, but I will be decluttering this, so I don't need it anymore. Then I have my Naked 3 by Urban Decay. This one I got back in 2016, and I'm going to keep it for reasons of nostalgia because it was like my first eyeshadow palette, so I'm gonna keep it. Honestly, I used it this year and it still worked fine, so if I wanted to actually use it then I could, but I'm not going to. But I'm gonna keep this for nostalgia reasons. And also, you can tell that I barely used it because I didn't know what I was doing. So anyways, so here we have the Sultry palette. I bought this when I got the Too Faced Chocolate Gold. I bought them from Ulta, and I recently have seen them in TJ Maxx. But I bought this because I wanted to test out like dark and obviously sultry shades, which these scare me, but there's some really pretty shades here for like a topper and stuff. So I'm going to keep this because I do want to learn to play with like dark sultry shades. Here's another one from Urban Decay. This is the Elements palette. This one I bought, I want to say, at the very end of 2018, like in December or maybe even, I don't know, November, but I'm pretty sure it was December. But I got this palette and I've barely used it. I don't know if I want to declutter it though, because I really do like these green shades here and this one here and the pinks and stuff. I don't know. I feel like I should keep this palette. You know, I'm gonna put this in the maybe pile because I might keep this. This one is the Urban Decay Ultimate Basics. I got this one in 2017. As you can tell, this is the only shade that I've really like put a dent in. This is like the most used shade I've ever used, if you can even tell. But if I run out of an eyebrow pencil, I use that one to do my eyebrows. But other than that, I don't really use this palette. I got it as a birthday gift back in 2017, but I'm gonna keep it just because, you know, it was a gift. And I mean, it's not a bad palette. You can get these for really cheap at like TJ Maxx now. So if you wanted to try this out, you could for really cheap. I have this Makeup Revolution Fiercest Fire palette. I think these are like eyeshadows and like a blush or something over here and a bronzer maybe. I'm not really sure. But I've only ever used this shade in here. So I'm just gonna get rid of it because it's just been sitting in my drawer. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of it. I don't need it. Then I have this Butter London palette from a BoxyCharm, and I actually have never touched this. You can see that there's like little marks and stuff in some of the shades. Like this one looks like there's a fingerprint in it. I don't really know. I feel like it's probably just like factory or whatnot. So I'm gonna get rid of it. I don't actually, you know what? Do I like this palette? I'm gonna also put this one in a maybe pile because I don't know if I want to get rid of it yet. I haven't even tried it. Here we have the Makeup Revolution. This is the Wants palette, the Emily edit. She's a YouTuber. I saw this palette because another YouTuber had it, and I didn't even know who she was, this YouTuber, and I just loved the color story, and it's actually a really great palette. I love the shade Laugh Cry. It's my absolute favorite. This is a purple that I actually do like. I like this green. I like that shade. I haven't used like these shades. But this is such a good palette. I don't need it, so I will be decluttering it. I'm kind of sad about it, but I mean, I have pretty much all of these shade tones and other palettes, so I don't need it. So I'm gonna go ahead and declutter it. Because obviously the point of this video is to get rid of things that I don't really use, because I don't need it. I don't need to collect stuff. But this one is the Lorac Pro 2 palette. I actually bought this off Poshmark from Porcelain here on YouTube. I love her. She was also featured in the Jeffree Star video. This is like my color story right here. I love this palette, so I'm not going to get rid of it. I love this. I have the Natasha Denona here. I love this palette to the moon and back. It's so good. It's like one of the better qualities of her mini palettes because I know some of them have like really bad reviews, but this one's really good. So I will be keeping this. Then I have the Kylie Jenner palette, the Ulta exclusive one. I haven't used it yet. I will be doing a video on it soon. Just let me know down below when you want to see it. So I will be doing a video on it very soon. I have another Makeup Revolution palette here. This is the Soph X Extra Spice palette. This palette is so great. I love this palette. I cannot open it. This palette is so good. I hate this shade though. Like it's terrible, but I love this shade to the moon and back and the shade Lakes and all of these shades over here. I really like this palette. It's a good palette. I'm gonna keep it. I use it a lot, so I'm gonna keep it. How many times am I gonna say I'm gonna keep something? Oh, okay. So here's the Nubian by Juvia's Place. Oh God, I tell you what, this is oh, it's just such a nice neutral palette. I've worn it so many times. I hit hard pan here, which sucks balls, but you know, whatever. I love this. I love that shade. I love that shade. Love that shade. I love it all. It's just such a good palette. So if you want to try something from Juvia's Place, get the Nubian. It's very good. Also by Juvia's Place, I got the Zulu palette, and I just wanted it because it was colorful. It was my first colorful palette. I love this green here and this blue, and I love it all. I don't like the purple. Excuse me. I don't like the purple, but that's just because it's too dark. But all of these shades are so pretty. I haven't used this one though, but I love this palette. I'm not getting rid of it. It's so good. I have the Carly Bible here by Anastasia. I love this palette. Again, these are like my tones. I will be doing a video eventually on this palette because I just got it and I've used this shade and this shade and this shade as a look, and then I've used these shades as a look here, and it's just such a pretty palette. Definitely my color story. I love it, so I'm keeping it. Oh, speaking of, okay, I just did a video on the Huda Light, the light nude palette. Oh my god, you guys, such a pretty color story. I'm never okay, if I run out of a shade in here, I will be rebuying it because that's how much I love it, and I will be getting her like big $65 new nude palette because I need those tones. These are my tones. I figured out that these are the tones that I love, and I'm gonna just buy all these tones. I also have the Huda Beauty Smoky Obsessions palette. Never ever touched it. All these dark colors scare me, but I'll eventually use it. Don't hate me. And then I have the Huda Beauty Mauve Obsessions. Again, I have not used it yet. It's like the season to use it, so I will be using this very soon. And I will be doing a look on it because I have two other palettes here that Ipsy kept sending me. So I'm giving this one away to my friend Caitlin. But I'm going to do a giveaway and give away this palette. I told you guys on one of my lives that I would give it away, so I'm going to be giving it away. But I'll do a look with it and do the giveaway in the video. Then I have the Nomad palette here by, it's the Berlin Underground by Nomad. And this is such a great grungy fall palette. I love it so much, and I need to buy more of their eyeshadow palettes because this is so good. It's such a good dark grungy palette, and they blend like a dream. They blend like a dream, you guys. This is such a good palette. All right, we're almost done, so don't freak out. This is the Real Her palette. This is like an older version, so like, yeah, apparently the quality is not very good. I have never used it, but I think I'm going to try using it, and if I don't like it, I'm going to give it to a family member, just because since it's not apparently good quality, I'm just not going to sell it, because this is like the older version of the palette, so I'll give it to a family member if I don't like it. Then we have the Violet Voss Essentials palette. I did a look on this and I did a giveaway, and I really like this palette. It's very pretty, and yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it. I really liked this palette. So with that being said, I got the Fruit Sorbet mini size from Violet Voss from Ipsy with my points. Very pretty. I haven't played with it yet, but I will be soon in the future. And then my last palette is the Sparkling Cherry Limeade palette. I bought this from either Ulta or Sephora, I can't remember. It's just nice, pretty, vibrant, and I'll do a look on it. This is something I want to play with a lot in the summer, so I went ahead and got it so I can do a look on it since it was new. But yeah, I won't be using this till next year. But yeah, that's it for my entire... oh no, I still have a few palettes. Never mind, we're not done, don't worry. I have the Celestial Thunder palette from Dominique Cosmetics that I got in a boxy charm. Which one is it? It's either that one or this one. Oh, okay. This one's mine. I've already swatched some shades, and I'm going to be doing a video on it because it's so pretty. It's the mini version of the other palette, and I was thinking about doing a giveaway, but... I decided I'm just going to sell it because so many people that follow me have a BoxyCharm subscription, and I don't want them entering my giveaway if they already have it, just to have more, because that wouldn't be fair for someone else to not be able to get the opportunity when they do already have the palette. So I'll just sell it for really cheap. So if you guys really do want it, you can get it at a steal. And then I have two more palettes, and I swear these are the last ones. This is the Revolution Pro All That Glistens palette. I just got it. I was planning on doing some holiday looks with it, but I think it's going to be a disaster because I touched some of these glitters and they feel terrible. So it might be a terrible review. Oh, but look forward to that terrible hot mess of a video. And then I have the Fairy Lights palette by BH Cosmetics. This is my first BH Cosmetics palette. I just thought it was really pretty, and I appreciate that this glitter does not come off, so that's good. And it's on sale right now for like $14, and I bought it at $20. Ugh. But I did swatch a few of these shades, and they swatched so nice, so I have a feeling this is going to be a really good palette. So yeah, I've decided that I'm going to go ahead and keep these just because I just can't get rid of them. There's something about them, so I think that's a good sign. So let's just go over all the palettes that I will be decluttering and selling on my Poshmark. This one is broken, so I'm giving it to a family member. I'm going to be putting the Makeup Revolution Emily palette on the website. I will be putting the Laura Sanchez Moods palette on Poshmark, the Ipsy Tetris palette, the Makeup Revolution Fierce as Fire palette. Well, you can see it. The Celestial Thunder palette from Dominique Cosmetics. The ColourPop Chasing Rainbows palette. The Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette. The It's My Pleasure palette from ColourPop. Main Squeeze from ColourPop. The Be You Naturally palette from Tarte, the BoxyCharm exclusive palette, and the Wander Beauty Wanderous Seascape palette. So in total, I'm giving away how many palettes? Selling, not giving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, well, I'm getting rid of 11 palettes, and for me, that's good because I don't get rid of anything. I'm a hoarder. So the link to my Poshmark is going to be down below in the description. Go ahead and follow me there. I'm probably going to list these in the next couple of days as not for sale. And once I start really decluttering all my stuff, then I will be putting them for sale and you guys can just buy. But I have to get a few things together first. I need to get, you know, the paper for Poshmark and packing stuff to ship stuff. But yeah, look for these items popping up soon once I finish my declutter series, which I plan on filming all week. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching this declutter. It's kind of boring, but also very satisfying for me. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.